Thanks for tuning in, everybody. My name is Brock Page, and I'm still doing random sports picks for fun. You also might be surprised as to who I'm picking in the NBA today. If you just can't wait and you want to save yourself some time, check out my picks for this video in the description section below. Once again, I have to remind you that I am not a sports betting expert, nor do I implore you to take any of my picks. A wise man once said, good ain't free, and free ain't good. If for some reason you decide to use the free information on this program, you're utilizing it at your own discretion. And with that said, let's get into some picks for April 10th. First game I have for you, Indiana at Philadelphia. The betting opened up with the Pacers as the 6.5 point favorites with the total points at 210. Since then, Indiana's now -8 against the spread with the total points moving upward to an even 211. Currently, the Pacers are laying 345 on the money line, and at the moment, 51% of the bettors think Indiana will get the job done. Speaking of the Pacers, they're covering just 33% of their games as the road favorite despite their current hot streak. They've also failed to cover in 2 of their previous 3 games with Philly. Detroit's facing a Philadelphia team who's an impressive 25-12 against the spread as the official home underdog. Both teams' games have gone over the line in 2 of their previous 4. All that said, I'm ready to make my pick as I think Philadelphia at +8 will get the job done against the spread. When it comes to the total points, I'm in full agreement with the bettors as I think this one goes over 211. And when it comes to the money line cash, I think Indiana wins it in a close one. I'm also adjusting the line and taking the Sixers +16 as the first pick of my 8-point super teaser. Next game, Brooklyn +10.5 at Boston with the total points at 223. And at the moment, 52% of the bettors think Brooklyn will get the job done against the spread. Speaking of the Nets, they've done a hell of a job against the spread as of late, covering 3 of their last 4. They're also 2-1 against the spread in their previous 3 meetings with the Celtics. Brooklyn's facing a Boston team who's covered just 15 of 36 games as the official home favorite, and a winless, pathetic 0-7 in games at the current point spread. On a side note, 2 out of both teams' last 4 games have gone under the total posted points. All that said, I'm ready to make my pick as I'm once again in full agreement with the bettors. I think Brooklyn at +10.5 will get the job done against the spread. When it comes to total points, I think this one stays under 223. And when it comes to the money line cash, I think Boston wins it outright. I'm also adjusting the line and taking Brooklyn +18.5 as the second pick of my 8-point super teaser. Next game, Washington at Detroit. The betting opened up with the Wizards as the 3-point favorites and the total points at 210. Since then, Washington's now just -1.5 against the spread, with the total points moving upward to an even 212. When it comes to the spread, these Washington Wizards have had a tough time against the number as of late, covering just 1 of their last 4. They're facing a Detroit team who, before last night's action, covered their last 3 straight. Before Sunday night's games, both teams' games have gone over the total posted points in 2 of their previous 4. All that said, I'm ready to make my pick as I think Detroit at -1.5 will get the job done against the spread. When it comes to the total points, I'm once again in full agreement with the bettors as I think this one goes over 212. And when it comes to the money line cash, I think Detroit wins it. I'm also adjusting the line and taking Washington +9.5 as the third and final pick of my 8-point super teaser. Next and final game for the show, Houston at the LA Clippers. The betting opened up with Los Angeles as the 4-point favorites and the total points at 226.5. Since then, the LA Clippers are now -4.5 against the spread, with the total points moving upward to 228.5. Now, before last night's action, Houston's failed to cover in 3 of their previous 4 and really don't have much to play for right now. They're facing a Clippers team who's won their last 4 straight up and are 19-13 against the spread versus teams over 500. Before last night's action, 2 out of both teams' previous 3 games had gone under the total posted points. All that said, I'm ready to make my pick as I think the LA Clippers at -4.5 will get the job done against the spread. When it comes to total points, I think this one stays under 228.5. And when it comes to the money line cash, I think the Clippers win. Just a reminder, my 8-point Sweetheart Super Teasers pay 5 to 6 and get graded as a loss should any game result in a push. You can find this exotic wager in several online sports books and in the state of Delaware. Well, folks, that is going to do it for me. Once again, I have to remind you that I am not a sports betting expert, nor do I implore you to take any of my picks. A wise man once said, good ain't free, and free ain't good. If for some reason you decide to use the free information on this program, you're utilizing it at your own discretion. Most importantly, if you're betting any of these games, do it safe, do it responsibly, and most important, have fun. For Brock Page, predictions and sports picks, I'm Brock Page, and have yourself a positive day.